Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Brummet Media channel. I am thrilled to answer Jay's question. The letter J is what came with this question. So, Jay, thank you for your question. Can you tell us the pros and cons of self-publishing as opposed to traditional publishing? Okay, so with a traditional publisher, the author will have access to a team, and that team includes professional book reviewers, book designers, cover designers, formatters, proofreaders, editors. Some publishers will help the author face issues, answer questions, distribution. They might even provide limited marketing tools. Traditional publishers aren't going to do a lot of book promotion activities, especially after the release of the book. Once the book is when the book is released, they'll do a few things. After that, it's all up to you. And usually what they do offer, pretty minimal, very minimal when it comes to the actual marketing. They will set up the distribution. They will send out announcements to your mailing list if you supply it, or they will give you this, like say an online postcard or something like that. They'll give you the tools to send to your own mailing list. Either way, they'll usually do something like that. They'll also utilize their existing channels, their social networking site, their blog, their e-postcards, their e-announcements that they're sending out to their list, where they'll say, hey, this is a new release. They probably send it in a collage with, this week we've released 5 books, yours is one of them, or something like that. Otherwise, they're going to have possibly like a better, more established traditional publisher is also going to have things like forums, or at least an online group or an online chat activity, or maybe regular Zoom meetings, things like that, where their authors can then join and collaborate and network and support one another, ask questions, stuff like that. They usually will have a section on their website that anyone can access. Sometimes they hide this and they only make it available to their authors. But this section is where they're giving a few basic marketing resources. Nothing major, nothing really big, but it will get you started on the roadmap towards your marketing. Now, self-publishing companies, they offer pretty much the same thing to the author, only you're paying to have it done. Or they are sharing in the royalties, their share of the royalties is much higher. So some of these are what are called vanity or hybrid vanity, and that's sometimes given a bad name, but honestly, those publishers do have a place in the industry. This is where the author pays in advance. They pay for some or all of the book production costs. In doing so, they're basically purchasing an allotment. I'm paying to have you publish 1,000 of my books. I get those 1,000 books shipped to me, and it's up to me to deal with it from there. So that is basically what a vanity press will do, or a hybrid press will do. There are self-publishing outlets that actually act very similar to traditional publishers, and the author will receive a percentage of royalties, just like you would with a traditional publisher. So any extra services or contracts or any amendments, these can all vary depending on the publisher's flexibility. So when you come in with your own author name recognition, your own set of skills, your own contract lists and extra services, and you're coming in with that, you might be able to approach the publisher and say, I want this, or I desire this from you. And they may or may not rise up to the challenge to meet your desires, depending on their flexibility. And as I say, based on your established name recognition in the industry. So any extra services, they're going to come at a price. If you go even to a traditional publisher and you refuse the book cover that they've designed several times, that's going to be a problem. They're going to start charging you or finding ways of gaining back what they're lost, because each time a new cover design is ordered, they're paying for that, so they have to we have to work with them, not against them, I guess is the best thing to go with there. Independent authors. Now, these are often called indie authors because everything's shortened nowadays. Independent authors or self-published authors. These are really people that are willing to do most of the activities themselves, have the skills to do it themselves, or they're willing to outsource and get someone else to do those skills for us. They're confident in their own abilities, their own connections. They feel that they can bypass all those different genres and subgenres of publishing outlets, and they can go at themselves because they're confident to go at themselves. Some authors are able to do this because they have the budget, they can pay other people to develop an audiobook and other formats of their book for them. And, they have the ability to outsource for professional book cover designs or, that kind of thing. So it really depends on your personal situation. Do you have the ability? Do you have the skills? Can you develop the skills? Do you know someone who already has those skills that you can barter or network with or hire? So these are all things definitely to consider in your career. As you grow and as you evolve, you'll develop these things. If you're very new to publishing, you might want to go with a smaller traditional publishing house that is going to offer you they're more willing to take submissions. They're more willing to take on a new author. And while they offer a select amount of services for you, those services at this point, being a new author, are going to be super valuable to you. Once you learn the industry and you develop skills, you'll gain the confidence to become more in the self-publishing arena, whether you're an independent author or a self-published author. That will be up to you at that point. Thank you, Jay, for that question. A really good but kind of loaded question. I tried to keep the answer short, and I hope it meets your expectations. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.